Yeah. Thanks. I'm excited to join the squad. Excited to get going. And I've always kind of respected the last couple of years for sure the way they play. I feel like every team's good on paper, but then there's certain consistencies and some different work ethics and kind of challenges different teams bring upon you. And Carolina was always one of those teams. I'm like, yeah, these guys play good. They play the same style where all four lines come at you hard and aggressive. They play that smart two-way game. And then they've been close. They've been close. And then I think once we were always kind of interested in them. And then to make it work, I think was something that I'm very excited about. And then center wing combination for me, it's I kind of look at the forward depth and realize there's a lot of good players there that can play wing or center. So when you play with those smart players, to me, it really doesn't matter.
Steve?
Hey, Paul, congratulations on the deal. 21 goals last year. I'm wondering, kind of, even at this stage of your career, what makes you kind of ability to kind of get that goal scoring back?
Longer season. I think, a couple seasons before that were kind of shortened seasons, but no, I felt good. I think I tinkered a few things with kind of the way I work out, kind of my diet a little bit. And then, like I said, good players, but it's more about creating chances. And, sometimes you're scoring goals when you should be scoring goals, and sometimes you're not scoring goals when you should be scoring goals. And as long as you're creating those chances kind of over the course of the year, I think kind of law of averages kind of always gives, and you're going to get, those opportunities. And, in today's game, I think you have so much skill where a lot of guys can score, nice highlight reel goals. And I've never been kind of that guy. I've always find a way to get to the puck to the net, kind of time the puck. And, if you look at all my goals in my career, I'm sure the majority are from, within 3-4 feet of the net. And you got to go to the hard areas to get goals.
Go ahead, Walt. Walt, you muted.
Sorry about that. Paul, welcome into the organization. You talked a little bit about the team being very close, and it's obviously their goal to achieve a Stanley Cup within the next season or two. What is it that excites you most about the opportunity in Carolina?
Yeah, I think it's just winning. I think it's a chance to win. I think that's what everyone wants. It's so hard. I mean, you can ask anybody, at the start of the year, there's 20 teams I think that have the chance of winning. But there's a good mix of younger players kind of coming to their own, and a good mix of veteran. And I think there's a coach that understands how to win. And, the last 2 years, I can recall they've been pretty close to winning. And you lose out to Tampa, who ends up winning it all. You lose out to New York in a tight 7 series. New York could easily beat Tampa and in the finals. You just, it's sometimes it's just kind of little plays here and there can determine a season of how good you can be, and takes a little luck. But I just like kind of the combination they have of like skill, speed, strength, and a mix of younger guys that are hungry and older guys that want to win as well.
Alec?
Yeah, hey Paul, congrats. You early in your career played a couple of times against Rod Brindamore as a player, but now coming with him as the head coach. What have you heard about him as a coach, and how excited are you to get this opportunity to play for him?
Yeah, I think just honesty. I think he's a straight shooter. That's what I've heard a lot of things. Very personal. Really gets to know the guys on and off the ice, and then that goes a long ways. But I think as a coach, I always kind of judge it by the way guys that played with him, whether they were a first line guy or whether they're the 13th forward, they say the same amount of things, and kind of the way the team plays. And honestly, like I said, they play that hard two-way kind of aggressive, hunt the puck, kind of get the puck mentality checking game that, Rod was so successful at in his career. And I think he's kind of built an identity of that team, and then it kind of starts from him and what he knows how to be successful. And I think the team kind of feeds off that and believes and, trusts his message.
Mike Solarte?
Hey, Paul, Mike Solarte here, Spectrum News 1. Congratulations on the deal. Welcome to the Carolinas. After 1,000 NHL games and at the age of 36, you touched on the youth that the Hurricanes have and the nice mix of the older guys, the veteran guys. I mean, you're coming into a team now that adds Brent Burns, Max Pacioretty, even though he's injured right now, he'll be coming back at some point. Where do you feel the biggest need for this team is based on so much youth? I mean, do these guys just kind of need someone in the room to help them show them the way and a little bit of, learn a little bit more about the NHL, because this core group has been together a couple of years, but they're still very young.
Yeah, and I think here's older guys like myself or Burns, your Patch, like everyone kind of tries to lead by example or teach kids different ways. And for me, I've always I have nice relationships with all players and my teammates I've had, and I realize that every player is different. I've always been kind of one of those guys that helps my teammates get better. So I want the best out of my teammates, because if they're doing well, team's doing well, everyone's in a good mood. And I kind of realized that. I think early in my career, I was fortunate enough to learn that from, I had my dad, obviously, first and foremost, which was always nice for me when I was younger. But then I had, the likes of, Joe Sakic or Adam Foote or, Pierre Turgeon, Andrew Burnett. And these are guys I'm so close with, but I still remember my early days. And, even when they did leave, they'd always kind of keep in touch, try to always help me on and off the ice. And sometimes it's I feel like a lot of it is really mental, it's a long season, goes through ups and downs. And some guys, put too much stress on themselves sometimes a little too easy. And there's kind of like a fine balance. And I think as you've gotten older, you kind of realize that, and you try to kind of teach that wisdom to the other guys.
Are you comfortable with as respectfully as I can, that's what the older guy label? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'd rather be older than younger. I think in today's age, I'm sure everyone says that, it's changed a lot, but no, I'm, I feel like I've learned a lot, and yeah, I love where I'm at. I love it's always kind of fun playing with, whether it's 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, or 30, different guys. They're different aspects of their lives, whether off the ice or getting married, or whether on the ice, they keep getting better. And it kind of gives you that kind of a jolt of energy. And, as much as they can learn from me, I can also learn different things from them. That kind of makes it fun.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, welcome to Carolina. Just a couple of quick things. What was your initial reaction to Max Pacioretty's injury, and have you had a chance to talk with him? And I guess the second question would be, how soon do you intend to get to Carolina and start working out with some of the guys?
Yeah, I think I was just, I felt bad for him, because I know I'm really close with him. I know how hard he works. I know how motivated he is and how hungry he is. To play and get better and kind of prove it to others wrong, or just keep showcasing his skill. And, sometimes it's very unfortunate, and you feel bad for him. And, sometimes you take a step back, and, it could be a blessing in disguise. You never know. I think, time will tell, but maybe it'll be good for him just kind of reset a little bit. And then, when he does come in, he'll be, that much more hungry, that much more fresh in the middle of the season when everyone's kind of lagging a little bit. But, it's different ways to put perspective. And then, obviously, like I said, I talk to Patch every day. So whether it's about hockey, whether it's about life, whether it's about everything, we're both in similar stages in our career. And then that we really can talk about a lot of things that are just not hockey. And I think, to me, that's always kind of fun. And hopefully, like around Labor Day, plan on coming down. I think got to just figure out living situation, schools for the kids, and move everything down there. But I think the last 12 hours, we've kind of been busy just on the phones all day figuring that stuff out. And for my wife and I, it's about making it as easy as possible for our kids to be comfortable. And then I know how the NHL is. I know all these guys are, that you step in the locker room, they make you, they're all the guys in the league, welcome you with open arms, and we're all cut from the same cloth. So I'm excited to join these guys.
Go ahead, Corey.
Was it a consideration at all making a jump to Eastern Conference after playing out West for so long? And then secondly, have you thought at all about the chance to play in another outdoor game?
Do they have an outdoor game? I didn't even know that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know what? So, I feel like sometimes when I've been through this process before, and sometimes in your mind, when you think you're going to go to one place and that's all you think about, something else kind of happens, and something good always comes out of it. I think I've done a good job with my dad and my agent. We always kind of take a step back and just look at all the options and weigh them down. And the Eastern Conference thing was, I always thought, like, I've only played Western Conference, but it's a new challenge. Like I said, I think this league now is so good. It doesn't matter, if you're playing on the best team in the Western Conference or the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Every night is a competition, and you got to be at your best. But I told my wife, now after playing Carolina. Now we played in Pacific time zone, Mountain Central, and Eastern time zone. So we'll get a little taste of everything. And, you know, you only grow and learn from stuff like this. And it's something that we come in with a positive attitude and we're excited about it.
Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Paul. Two questions. One, did you have higher money offers in free agency than this one? And then as sort of a part two to that, as you become a veteran player, as we've talked about, does that decision in free agency to maybe forego larger cash offers for an opportunity like Carolina become an easier one?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of different options on the table. And so that's one thing you got to think about. And that's kind of thing like I've been fortunate to play long enough that it's not about, you know, the dollars and cents. Obviously, you know, it's always nice and you can see, you know, what your market value is in one sense, but at the same time, you know, my wife and I have always wanted a chance to win. As later in our career, we've been fortunate enough to play in good teams, and you come close and you realize how hard it is. And maybe it might never come. That's all right. But as long as you give yourself a chance and you have good teams come knocking on your door and they think you're valuable, I think that's a risk we're always willing to take.
Go ahead, Steve.
And I know you mentioned, Paul, about Max coming back essentially and kind of giving you guys a boost, but while he's gone, as much as you don't want to see him out, is there something, maybe a void that you could fill in kind of his absence until he gets back?
Yeah, but we're different players, I think, on the ice, off the ice. But he's got that old school mentality though, which I like, and he's very direct, very honest, you know, no nonsense about him. And I think that's sometimes some, you know, young people take it the wrong way, but I think once they understand where he's coming from and realize it's like he's only trying to help you out, then they realize that, yeah, you know, he wants to do everything. You know, he's not afraid to call someone out or be more direct, just if it's going to help that player become a better player, if it's going to help that team, that, you know, the team win and get a couple extra points. And I think he's learned from it. I think he's played and, you know, he was captain Montreal, which is, you know, the highest pressure maybe next to Toronto right there. And, you know, it's always tougher being an American and a Canadian, you know, especially a French market. But, you know, he's seen the highs and lows. He's seen what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's the one thing is, as you get older, you play with so many good players, so many good teams, and you see how different people lead and you see what works, what doesn't work. And you try to be adaptable to all the different players, you know, whether it's, you know, it's one way to talk to a top line guy. It's another way to talk to a fourth line guy because, you know, they have different mindsets, there's different mentality, and there's kind of different stress levels on all those guys.